Hi, welcome back. Apparently, parenthood makes me rather impulsive because I decided this morning that I was going to give weekly vlogging a try. Elise is I was about to say 7 days. Can you tell I'm tired? Elise is 7 weeks old today, so rather than wait, I thought I would start straight away. I'm going to weekly vlog each of her weeks, so there's kind of a time frame. Yeah. Let's see how we get on. So this is my gorgeous little pickle. Elise was born on the 15th of March, weighing £6 and 13 ounces. She arrived by elected caesarean section because the hospital didn't feel they could keep me safe in a labour situation with my medical complexities. We love her. She's gorgeous, and today she is 7 weeks old. Now my last video was actually filmed the day before Elise was born. The appointment that I was at was my pre-op, but I didn't want everyone to know that she was going to be born. I wanted to kind of deal with birth and then tell everyone that she was here. And in that same video I was also showing you some bits to do with the smart drive that we were fundraising for, and we had one on loan from Gerald Simmons. And the fundraiser was massively successful. Everyone was amazingly generous and kind and supportive, and we now have our very own smart drive, so we can get out of the house independently as and when we want, which is another reason I want to start weekly vlogging. Firstly, to show everyone who's donated and shared the fundraiser just what they're allowing us to do, and also because now I can actually go out and do stuff, so it'd be nice to kind of show you doing stuff, really, rather than sitting in the house wanting to go and do stuff but not being able to. So today's excitement is a trip to the GP. I had an appointment with my migraine consultant on Tuesday, so I'm going to go and fill the GP in on what happened then. And Elise is also booked in. She's been having some reflux difficulties. We saw the GP last Thursday. Today's Thursday, so we saw her a week ago, and we discussed the reflux issues, and it seemed to be settling down. So we decided we weren't going to do anything, but the GP said if it got worse she would try baby Gaviscon. And lo and behold, Thursday night she really struggled, and Friday she really struggled throughout the entire day. And Friday night was horrendous. I got a collective 2 hours sleep because Elise was either feeding, screaming, or asleep on me, and every time I put her down, it didn't matter how long she'd been up. At one point I held her on my chest upright for 2 hours, put her down, and within a minute she was screaming again because the reflux had gone back up and was hurting her because she didn't have gravity helping. So I went out and I bought some baby Gaviscon, and it really helped. So we're going to go and speak to the GP, get it on prescription, and also get more of a specific, this is how you use it, this is how we're going to keep checking, because reflux happens in babies a lot because their tubing hasn't developed properly. So I don't want to have her on it for longer than she needs to, so I need to know how we're going to kind of monitor and check to find out when she doesn't need it anymore, so she's not on medication for longer than she needs to be. Anyway, that was very rambly and long way of saying it. My GP surgery is just on the edge of town, so we're going to pop into town. I want to get a new bullet journal because I've only got a month left in mine, and it's probably going to take me, with a newborn, a month to set up my next bullet journal, so I'll get that today. I've got a gift to take back. We were given a lovely dress for Elise, but it's very, very stripy, and my head and my photosensitivity just can't handle it. So we'll take that back, and then after the doctors we'll come straight home, and Dan should be home from school either when we get home or shortly after, which is nice. Freya has stolen my seat. GP's appointment went very well. She was happy with what we've done in terms of Gaviscon and trying her on it and then trying without. She's written a prescription for Elise. She's happy with the plan for me going back onto the initial medication. So I will start the first tablet, which is a beta blocker because of my POTS. But hopefully it will help my migraine a little bit, and that will be started on Friday evening or Saturday morning. I've been told that I could potentially carry on breastfeeding on a low dose if I wanted to, but Dan and I are not happy with that. So we've also been tailoring off Elise's breast feeds. So we've just come home, she's had some breast milk, but then she's also, I've topped that up with a bottle. And I didn't get my bullet journal today because I checked on Amazon and it was £3 cheaper, so I've ordered and hopefully that will arrive tomorrow. Good morning! Elise is asleep, so I am going to watch some YouTube videos and go through my makeup and pull out some spring and summer bits and pieces, and then I'm going to write my summer shop my stash blog post if I get time, if she doesn't wake up. But at least having gone through my makeup, I will be a step closer to having it done. And a bit later on we're going to go into town, drop off both of our prescriptions. I could watch this face all day. Elise has woken up, so I'm going to stick some nursery rhymes on and we're going to sing some nursery rhymes. My Amazon delivery has just arrived, so my bullet journal is here. I went for a raspberry shade. I was going to choose either the raspberry or the purple in Ryman's, and they had the raspberry online for cheaper, so I went for that one. And I've also got a little tripod for my camera because I'm struggling to hold it. It's 2:30 and we haven't yet made it out. Dan is going to be finishing school in not very long. He will probably be home in about an hour. So instead I'm going to, I was only going out to do prescriptions, and I've got a coffee date with a friend on Wednesday, which will be in town. So I'll do the prescriptions then, and I don't really know what I'm going to do for the rest of the hour before Dan gets home. I do want to practice my wrapping in terms of baby wearing so that I can start wearing my woven wraps. I've got 2 beautiful woven wraps that were sent to me by Baby Monkey. I really want to start wearing them, but I need to feel confident in doing so. And Elise has just started to want to be held on my chest so that she can have a look around, but with my shoulder and my wrist they're just not going to be able to manage it. I did a little bit today and it's already so painful, so if I can work out how to tie her up in that position, she can have a look around and I can save my shoulder and my wrist. I have just managed to get a video of my wheelchair misbehaving. I've had my chair for about 1.5 years and it's had problems for the vast majority of that time, and we're still trying to fix it. And it's getting to the point where I feel like, not that I'm not being listened to, but maybe that they don't know what to do. Anyway, I've managed to catch what the chair's doing on camera on 2 different floors, so I'm going to need to phone wheelchair services again and speak to them and get them to come out again, in the hope that we can get it sorted. I didn't get very far with my shop my stash, pulling things out, deciding what I'm going to be using, but that's fine. Elise woke up and I would much rather spend some time interacting with her than ignore her just to finish that. Look! Hello, darling! We're in the sort of are we awake, are we asleep mode. She's so gorgeous. Elise had her last breastfeed this morning because I need to start my medication. I filmed it because Dan filmed her first feed in recovery room, so I thought it'd be nice to kind of bookend and have her first feed and her last feed. Took a couple of pictures, and now I'm going to take my first dose of propranolol. These are for my postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which I will leave information about linked below. and I'm hoping that they'll also help my migraine a little bit. They aren't very effective in the 2 types of migraine I have, but they were the first migraine medication I was ever put on, and they helped a little bit. So I'm hoping that I will get a little bit of that effect again for my migraine before we start Botox injections in, I think it's about 6 or 7 weeks time. I had an awful day yesterday. I don't know whether it was medication or the heat, but I just crashed on the sofa. I didn't even get downstairs properly until 2 o'clock, and then I just spent the entire time on the sofa, absolutely exhausted. I was going to try and do some of my baby bullet journal, and I didn't even have the concentration to work out how I was going to do Elise's title page for her sort of, so separating the pregnancy part from like her bits. So I didn't film, but today I am feeling a lot better. I've been up since 4:30 though, and I've come into town because I realised that her Gaviscon's going to run out, and ideally I could do with my new antihistamine, because the one I've been on that's pregnancy and breastfeeding safe isn't very good. So I've come in to put the prescription in, because otherwise we're going to run out of everything. Right, I'm home. Dan and Elise are both happy. I was able to get her Gaviscon, but none of my prescription. The pharmacist I nearly laughed at him, and I nearly told him that was his job. He asked me, the prescription is for dual sachets, so they come 2 sachets together. She's supposed to have 30 of them within the prescription. So he said to me, is that 1 box or 2? You're the pharmacist, I don't know. She's never had them before anyway, certainly not on prescription. So yeah, nearly laughed at that. So they're happy, so I'm going to take this opportunity to get my hair dyed. Yeah, I was able to paint my nails this morning. I went into a different room so that Elise didn't get the fumes. She was asleep, Dan was asleep, but I could hear them both. So I'm quite pleased with that. So you might have noticed I didn't film yesterday. What day was yesterday? Yesterday was Bank Holiday Monday. On Sunday afternoon I had an energy crash, and I felt horrendous Monday morning as well, and then we had my father-in-law's birthday, so all my energy was spent sort of being able to function through that. But today it is 20 to 10. We, my little Lissy bear, we have been downstairs from 8 o'clock because the wheelchair technician is coming to have a look at my chair again, watch the videos that I've recorded, and then the idea at the moment, or at least this was what I was told on the phone, was that he would feed back to wheelchair services. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like this is never ending. The chair's never going to be fixed. We shall wait and see. And then I've got the rep from Gerald Simmons, who came and sorted me out with the smart drive, is coming to do a demo of the freewheel. We ended up raising more than the amount of the smart drive. People actually very generously gave, even though I closed the fundraiser. So we have some money to put towards a freewheel. Now a freewheel lifts, if I show you my chair, a freewheel attaches here, lifts the caster wheels off just a touch, and that makes things like grass a lot easier, and also horrible pavements. Now I had a she's making funny noises. I had a hospital appointment on Tuesday, hospital appointment in London, and the London pavements around my hospital are awful. When I went a few months ago for my autonomic appointment, Mum was pushing me because I didn't have the smart drive, and she nearly tipped me out of my chair twice because the caster wheel, the small ones on front, caught on a bit of a pavement. And then this time the same thing happened, and I had Elise strapped to my chest. My sister was with me, and I nearly came out of the chair. And I've done some damage to my scar incision C-section area that I need to have a chat with my big sister about, who is a nurse, because I don't know what doctor's going to be able to do if I go to the doctors, but I feel like someone needs to at least know about it, but I don't want to waste their time. I don't know. Anyway, so a free will for my London appointment sounds like a really, really sensible thing, and it would also allow us to do parks for family occasions and all sorts of other things. So we're going to have a look at that today. And this little one is going to have a play in her play gym now. The technician has been and had a look, and I've shown him my videos, and he's just as frustrated as I am. They currently have 4 chairs with the same problem on the same side. Exactly the same chair, same make, same model. He said in total mine is the 6th chair in my area that's had this problem. So there seems to be a manufacturer's issue, which is what he said when he changed the caster forks, which was not the time he came up before, but the time before that, which was only about a month ago. It's really frustrating. It's affecting how I can handle the chair. So he's going to feed it back to wheelchair services. Hopefully we'll make a little bit of progress. He said it might have to go back to Wales, to their factory, wherever, but they've had it twice, and they had it for a month each time, and stuck me with a chair that was too heavy for me and I couldn't push, and I dislocated my shoulder. So I'm really hoping that is not the case. He has said they will have to give you an active user chair, but I tried to get an active user chair the second time because I dislocated my shoulder the first time, and they weren't able to loan me an active chair, so who knows. It's really, really frustrating, and honestly, because I've been fighting for this to be sorted for so long, I'm at the point where if I had the money, I would just go, you know what, it's not worth the hassle and the stress and the frustration. I would just go out and buy a new chair, but I don't have that kind of money. So I am stuck with battling wheelchair services to get it fixed and get it sorted. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a shower now because I didn't actually have time to do that. It's 11:45 and the rep from Jebel Simmons is going to be here at 2. But while I think of it, I'm going to explain a bit about my glasses. So while my lovely little pickle is asleep, I can put my glasses back on. I don't want to be wearing them too much when she's awake because they are so dark, it's hard to see my eyes, and I don't want to lose that interaction and that bonding with her being able to see my eyes. So when she's awake and we're in the house, so I've got the lights off and it's natural lighting, I'm not wearing my glasses, which does have an impact on my migraine pain. But I feel it's worth it, and I feel she deserves that interaction and that bonding to be able to see my eyes. So if I'm wearing my glasses, then I'm not. Now you know the reason why. We're on hold with the doctors trying to get an appointment. I didn't hear back from my sister last night, so I phoned 111, and they advised me to go and see the GP today. So I now have an appointment with the GP at 10:35. My GP is away this week, but only works part-time anyway. The lady I usually see if I can't get in to see my GP was fully booked. Annoyingly, I almost managed to get her last book online appointment, and someone else nabbed it first, and then when I phoned up, she didn't have any left. So they open the online at 7 and the phone lines at 8. So I'm in with a different doctor, someone I've never met before, which always makes me feel a little bit wary. But hopefully this is something fairly standard, which, although with my hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome there are complications, Hopefully it will be a straightforward and she'll be able to advise. So I'm just getting ready now. So I'm going to run you through my skincare routine because I might as well. I'm going to start with the Simply Pure Conditioning Cleanser for sensitive skin. I really like the Superdrug Simply Pure range. It's affordable and it works for my skin. Elise has had a bit of a crying moment this morning. I think she was hungry, but she might not have been. Frustratingly, I hadn't sterilised everything because I needed to wash them up. I'd part washed them up. So I had to put the steriliser on, so she had to wait for a little bit. Just wiping that off with a cotton pad. Next, my Garnier Micellar water, just to cleanse my face. So by the time I got the bottle ready, Elise had calmed down. She has had some of it, but she's probably had a quarter. So she could have just been thirsty. She could have been hungry. Or she could have just been having a scream because she was in pain from wind or reflux. All sorts of potential things could have been the matter. Now I'm going to use my Simply Pure Hydrating Serum. This was the first... did you hear that? She just farted. This was the first Simply Pure skincare product I was introduced to. Fell in love with it, tried the rest of the range. Oh. Elise was hungry because she's just cried for some more milk. I am now going to use my Balance Snake Venom eye cream. Doesn't actually have snake venom in it. I have a review of this on my blog, which I will link below. And I've just remembered there was something I was going to tell you. The rep from Gerald Simmons forgot to put me in his diary, so didn't turn up. We are rescheduling, hopefully for Friday. So instead of seeing him and trying the freewheel, I made some good progress on my Shop My Stash blog post. I think I'm going to have to start posting ad hoc rather than sticking to a schedule. It's just not going to happen with a newborn. I might one day be able to catch up and get posts scheduled in, but for now I think I'm just going to have to write and publish when it's done and try and aim for at least one post a week. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. This is the Simply Pure Light Emulsion Moisturiser. This is new, and I think it's replaced their previous moisturiser that I loved, because when I went in to buy that, they didn't have it. So I'm giving this a try. Seems nice so far. I will have a blog post up about it at some point. Hopefully sometime before this one gets discontinued. That's how it feels at the moment. I've got so many blog post ideas, but no time to write things. But that's fine, because that little gorgeous squishy over there is so much more important. And here is the gorgeous squishy one in all her squishy glory. GP went well. She was lovely, so I've got another person that I can go and see if I need to, and my regular GP isn't around, which is fantastic. She was very taken with Elise, which is always nice. She isn't concerned that something sinister has happened. She says it's muscular from twisting and squeezing my abdominal muscles to save us from falling out of my chair. So she has given me some stronger anti-inflammatories that I put in to the pharmacy, but not been able to pick up yet because they didn't have the ingredients for me to check, so I'll need to do that tomorrow. And then I came home and had a bit of a mishap. Only I could end up with a wheelchair related injury coming back from the doctors where I was being checked over for a wheelchair related injury. I came off a drop curb backwards because it's quite a steep drop, and somehow ended up tipping over backwards. And I can't quite work out how that happened because I have an anti-tip on the back of my chair. Elise is fine. I hit my head, but I'm okay. A few guys who were standing at the off licence came over, helped me up, made sure I was okay. But one guy just stood there and started shouting, asking me if I'd had an epidural. And I have no idea the relevance. The only thing I can think is that he actually meant cesarean, and he wanted to know how a disabled woman pushed a child out of them. But totally inappropriate, on a whole nother level of inappropriate that I've never quite had before. I was expecting some inappropriate with being a parent and having Elise with me. I wasn't expecting anything on that level though. Despite that, we did make it out for coffee with my friend, albeit about half an hour late, which was lovely. I was planning to take my camera along with me to all of these things, and then mishaps happen and my focus is just kind of doing things rather than filming doing things. So this is the end of week 7's vlog. Tomorrow Elise is week 8 and we'll start the whole process again. I'm hoping that with practice I will get better at this and you'll see some more interesting things rather than just hear about what's going on. This is the last time, or almost the last time, you will see me with long hair. Next week's vlog will explain that. And thank you for watching. I will speak to you soon. Bye.